Hello, once again, welcome to N20. We're going to make it short and sweet. We're going to talk today about what's going on with the Socorro Independent School District. We're going to talk today about Chief Jose Castoreno's termination. Okay, we're going to get to it because a lot of things have happened since then. Okay, and if you recall, and if you remember, Socorro Independent School Board fires district chief police. Okay. It says here, Socorro Board voted late Tuesday to fire the district chief of police of 5 years. Okay, siding with the superintendent's recommendation to terminate the chief's contract for good cause. Very very direct and to the point. The vote was 4-2. The board discussed Jose Castorena termination behind closed doors. The trustees who made the decision was Eddie Mena, David Morales, Ricardo Castellano, and Pablo Barrera were the ones that approved so that Mr. Castorena be terminated. Okay. The ones that decided against it was trustee Cindy Nájera and Paul Guerra. Of course, trustee Michael Nájera was no show. He did not show up for the meeting. And even if he did, it wouldn't have mattered. They already had 4 votes, which is the majority to make this decision. One of the things is that El Paso Matters, when they published this, they also talked to Mr. Castorena. And one of the most interesting things is that he told the El Paso Matters that he believed that his contract termination was retaliation for his involvement with the Texas Rangers investigation. Isn't that interesting? We talked about this in a long post that I did a couple of months ago when this occurred, but this is now coming to the forefront of why he believes that he was terminated. It was because in retaliation from the Texas Rangers investigation. Now, this is the key thing, and I want you to pay attention. It says, with regards to some of the members of the board. Okay? With regards to some. It does not say by any means because of board member Castellano. It says some board members. So you have to think about it that there's more than one. That is for sure. Because the some members implies more than one. He said that the concerns that led to the investigation was brought to him prior to Carmen's hiring. Now, don't you find it very interesting and very curious? And one has to believe why all of a sudden that the new superintendent comes after the fact of being hired and then fires the chief of police. You have to wonder what's going on. One of the most interesting things that I find is that you hire a superintendent, takes a position, and then he terminates your chief of police from the school district of Socorro because somebody of the board members in the majority that hired you are being investigated. So I wonder who else was being investigated, because the Texas Rangers also said that there was some board members, implying more than one. So out of those 4 votes, we know that one of the trustees who it was, but what about the rest? So those are the things that we have to ask. Is there more underneath the veil? And they don't want to let us know. What else are they hiding? So one of the things that that is very, very suspicious as well is that if we go back and take a look at this and try to see um, the allegation is for official oppression, and this took place back in March, according to the Department of Public Safety. And El Paso Matter uncovered it because it obtained a open records request. So what does that say? It says that official oppression. Well, I was a city council member, and I can tell you that there's a lot of things that fall into place when it's official oppression. That means that you're putting your weight on something that you want to get done. Otherwise, it wouldn't have. But because you want to bring your weight as an official, as a trustee, as a representation, as a representative, then that is you're oppressing a subordinate, somebody that is underneath your position, somebody that works for one of your supervisors. If you're the boss per se, if you're the supervisor, then somebody immediately under you. And what I mean, if you're a supervisor, then you can have an assistant supervisor, and that also includes beneath you, as in position wise. So those are the things that happen, is that you're oppressing somebody by muscling your way to get your way, and that's what happens. We did a post a couple of months ago, and one of the things is that Mr. Castellanos' wife is a teacher, works at a school that is underneath his district, and the Texas Rangers, and I want to say this, the Texas Rangers will not pick up an investigation if they don't see any evidence. But they saw evidence of the suppression, official oppression. That's why they took it upon themselves to move forward with an investigation. And that's what you guys need to understand. They saw enough evidence to go forward, move forward in this investigation. It's going to take a couple of months for us to figure out what's going on. They will come back, and if there's enough to indict somebody, they will, or not an indictment, but have probable cause of removing some of the board members, depending on what type of allegation and accusation, and what type of severe oppression they found. So those are the issues that we have to look into. It is sad to hire somebody to be your linchpin, and I think that the superintendent, Nate Carmen, is their linchpin. It is sad that we're looking into the type of representation that we voted for, and this is what it's leading to is abuse of authority, and we got to stop. We got to do better. We think that just because you're a police officer, you're high and mighty, and you don't do anything bad. Well, he's been investigated. So what does that say? That we have to be careful on who we choose, not just because you hold a badge, or just because you're let me see what else we can say, a nurse, a doctor, an attorney, doesn't make you a good person. So we got to be careful on who we vote in these positions, because clearly, a lot of years of police work, and you're oppressing your subordinates, your employees, and that is sad. One of the things that we also have to look and account for is that not only was the chief fired, also the transportation director was fired, and that led to some problems with transportation for a couple of days. understaffing, and then some just didn't want to show up for work. It's because of the direction that this board is taking. It doesn't look good. We don't know what else is coming. But just on these two actions and these two terminations, it just doesn't look good. One of the things is that we always have to remember is that after this termination of the chief, we had an incident of a shooting. And then we also have the incident in Socorro High School where there was an altercation. They shut it down. We were in panic as a father. We didn't know what was going on, and they shut the school. Even a council board member was scared for his child. So those are issues. Those are issues that need to be addressed. We have to look at how they went about terminating him. How funny it is how he had to go to that day that the Texas Rangers set a meeting for him. He was summoned, and Nate Carmen, the superintendent, didn't let him go. So the chief sent one of his subordinates to take his place, and therefore that would cause the rift. That's what I was told. And there we have it, and that's what caused his termination. They didn't want to. Now, for the superintendent, Nate Carmen, you need to be aware that if I was the Texas Rangers and I would see that you did that, I would look into you as probably interfering in my investigation. So you need to tread lightly, and that's what I would give you a recommendation, Superintendent Nate Carmen, is you need to be well aware of what you're doing when an investigation entails. One of the things that I will say is that his termination came early. The chief was already in his last couple of months that his contract was coming up. The board should have took it upon themselves, because I would have done this. If I knew that I didn't like the way the direction was going, I would have already gone out for new representation. I would have gone out and gave a vote of no confidence and set triggers a going out actively looking for a replacement, and if not, in-house. And then I would have not renewed his contract, and it would have just been clean. But they just wanted to emphasize and destroy this man. And unfortunately, Jose Castorena, oh my God, Castorena was terminated. Was it retaliation? I believe so, but it's just my opinion. But the courts will figure it out and see what comes of this. Unfortunately, these four members, it's just going into a bad direction. I think that we could have done better. The way it's going and the way they're dismantling the school system, and it's just a way of making me doubt my decision on placing my vote. I think that if I would have known that this was going to occur, I would have just kept the old representation. And it's sad to say when I have to say that, but I want to say my final words to you guys is: be vigilant, be well aware of what's occurring, not only in the school districts but also in your city, respectively. Socorro Independent School District falls in county, the city of El Paso, and the city of Socorro. And we need to be well aware of what's going on. Our taxes are going to be raised, and that's unfortunate. And we just need better representation to really look out for us, the parents that have children into the schools. So once again, God bless you and stay tuned. I will be talking about the taxes next. So I just want you to be safe and remember, God loves you.